Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Audrey Williams. It was Hal Borland who said, "Year's end is neither an end nor a beginning, but a going on, with all the wisdom that experience can instill in us." And rightly said, as government continues the business of leading the country to achieving economic growth, enabling production, and working with citizens to create a safer Jamaica. So on today's show, we look at some measures being taken to achieve sustainable agricultural production.
It takes so long, man. People have places to go, you know. Get them on the urban table number.
Happy and nice. You know how much people me have to deal with before I reach here, sir? You're lucky.
Put 3 bills for number 5.
Wait. We can place my bet with you? Yeah, man. You see when you win with we, you get a little extra. So what you say?
Police, nobody move.
Illegal gambling is a criminal offense. If convicted, you could face a fine of up to $1 million or up to 18 months in prison. When gambling, choose licensed and registered gaming establishments. Stop illegal gambling now. Call Crime Stop at 311 to report illegal gambling. You don't have to give your name. A message from the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, December 5. National Security Minister Robert Montego has announced that starting this year, licensed firearm holders will have to account for every round of ammunition they acquire annually. He says the change is coming by way of a policy decision which will be issued to the Firearms Licensing Authority next week. It's part of efforts to keep guns and ammunition out of the hands of criminals.
We have 40,000 licensed firearm holders in this country. And each of them get 50 rounds per year. 50 times 40,000, that's 2 million rounds. If 10% get into the illegal hands, that's a dangerous and a whole heap amount. The police have to account for every bullet that they have. The private firearm holder is going to be required to do the same.
Minister Montego was speaking on Tuesday at the JCF's annual devotional exercise held at the Police Commissioner's office. In other security news, the police will be stepping up their interventions to reduce farm theft this year. That announcement also came on Tuesday from the National Security Minister.
You know how hard it is to watch a banana grow for 9 months? And just as it fit, you go cut it. This year is also going to be the year we're going to put the spotlight on farm thief.
He says steps will also be taken to make it easier to apprehend thieves who operate on motorbikes.
We're changing the regulations. You have to wear your helmet. And on that helmet must be a registration number, back and front of the helmet, and a vest. So when those people who now ride up and down on them bike and see the customers on our phone and grab our phone and keep riding, we will get the number. And we will come for you.
And the government will be providing financial support to improve physical fitness among the men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The portfolio minister says $1 million will be allotted to each police division later this year to establish a gym at the divisional headquarters.
I want to see the officers get fitter. And we will be investing in the medical branch because I want to fix up a building, Brother Hayward, out at Twickenham Park so that counseling can be done. When a police officer have problem, the counseling must be done in private.
And as part of increasing the JCF's overall capacity, he says the dormitory space at the Police Training College will be repaired and expanded to accommodate 1,000 new recruits this year. 20 mobile stations will also be acquired and placed in crime hotspots. The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, is encouraging business operators to dispose of their garbage appropriately. The urging comes from Executive Director Audley Gordon, who indicates that if the proper disposal method is not followed, persons will be ticketed for littering. Charges range from $10,000 for littering to $2,000 for recruited persons who carry out the act, and a maximum of $1 million for dumping.
We will not flinch, we will not hesitate to issue those tickets And I'm sure after you pay a few of those tickets, you will see the wisdom of regularizing your operation.
Mr. Gordon was addressing a town hall meeting at the Portland Municipal Corporation on Tuesday. He emphasized that the NSWMA had no obligation to remove commercial garbage, adding that under the law, this type of waste must be taken away to approved disposal sites at the expense of the business owners.
The business community, they have a particular responsibility to ensure that the garbage generated by their enterprises are managed in a way that it does not create a health nuisance or injure the aesthetic of this beautiful little town on the beach.
And finally, 23,600 names have been added to the voters list, while 2,367 names have been removed. That's reflected in the November 30, 2016 voters list, which was published on December 31, 30 days later than scheduled, due to the holding of the local government elections on November 28. It has a total of 1,870,245 registered electors. This represents a net increase of 21,233 over the previous list published on May 31, 2016. The Electoral Office of Jamaica is also reporting that 2 constituencies, St. Andrew Northeastern and Trelawney Southern, are in breach of the lower limit for number of registered electors in a constituency. The boundaries review submitted to the Parliament on March 31, 2016 is aimed at correcting these constitutional breaches. Meanwhile, all current voter ID cards, which bear an expiry date of 2017, are valid until December 31, 2017. The EOJ says the public will be notified shortly about the renewal process for these ID cards. Voter identification cards for newly registered electors added to the November 30 list are expected to become available by mid-January. The next voters list will be published on May 31, 2017. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Some water with you, please.
Water gone.
But me need water for cook. So how me go wash?
Let's weather the drought. Start conservation measures today. Check for leaks around your house. Opt for shorter showers over long baths. Reuse water to water plants and lawn. Watch the amount of water you and your family use. Try cooking methods that don't require much water. And if you have a vehicle, avoid washing it regularly. Remember, water is as important as the air we breathe. So conserve our water, conserve our life.
The farming community of Low River in Trelawney has been piped with water to allow for an increase in agriculture production. This was made possible through the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund program.
Farmers, the lifeline of the food chain. Water, the precious resource that helps to grow the food we love. Put them together and we get an agriculture sector that will produce on a consistent and sustainable level. So the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries is continuously implementing projects to connect farmers with water through initiatives like the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund program. The agriculture component of the GOJ Adaptation Fund program is to build farmers' resilience against climate change. With over $250 million Jamaican dollars in funding, farmers in vulnerable communities are being trained in best practice methods such as land husbandry and equipped for rainwater harvesting and improved irrigation infrastructure. Beneficiaries are small farmers in the parishes of Trelawney, St. Mary, Manchester, St. Catherine, St. Thomas, St. Anne and Clarendon. We journeyed into the hills of Low River in southern Trelawney to look at the work being done to harvest and distribute water to the predominantly yam farming community.
The Low River Water Harvesting and Irrigation Scheme is just under $2 million. One of the systems that has been most far-reaching, the fact is that to date we have just about 70 householders that have been connected to the system, and that is directly impacting about 350 community members. This system comprises of an entombment. What we have done, we have improved the entombment. we have built a wall across this area here, about 5 to 6 feet in depth and about 12 feet across, and that has improved the water storage capacity significantly. It was about 9 feet prior to the intervention, and now the 6 feet that we have added brings it to about 14 feet in depth.
To increase the flow of the water from the hill, the 3-inch pipes which connected the system before were changed to 6-inch pipes.
And that is what accounts for the significant pressure that we observe down in the community.
Prior to the improved water system, community members would have to come here and catch water for domestic use, while the farmers had to go to the river to catch water for irrigation purposes.
So you no longer have to go to the river to take up water?
Me not think so.
Because the water is at your farm.
The
pipe run, everything going in process, we don't have to go to the river. We don't have to pay the extra money for you to carry the water.
I think this water system would help us better now.
Presently, we have an approximately 470 farmers who benefit from the system. These farmers presently cultivate some 267 hectares of land. We're encouraging farmers to farm what we call climate smart agriculture. And this project certainly is a way to assist these farmers in order for them to produce all year round and in order for them to support, especially the import substitution program that the government is presently promoting.
The Low River Water Project was started in 2014 by the residents and Councillor of the Lorimer's Division, Paul Patmore. By enhancing the water system, the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund program was able to not only increase the flow of water, but also ran pipes along the main, and the residents took it a step further.
They have gone ahead and invested in pipes, in black tanks, to take the water from our distribution line into their household. So this is a real partnership between the community and the project.
I would just want to take time out just to say thank you to the management and staff of the GOJ project, and we really appreciate it.
Many of the farmers have testified that they are able to go back into production, expand their production, and quite a number of householders are now living more comfortable in terms of having access, increased access to water, both for irrigation as well as domestic purposes. The greenhouse that was out of operation because of the lack of water, preparation is being made as we speak to recommission that greenhouse into production. Transportation comes as far as from St. Anne, Clarendon, Manchester, to collect water, to carry back to those communities to service farmers as well as community householders for domestic as well as irrigation use.
The next phase of the Low River Water Project is to connect the farmers with on-farm irrigation systems.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Original.
Government is exploring the use of drones to protect the livelihood of farmers, as well as to provide accurate and instant data during disaster. We were at one of the demonstrations carried out by the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries. Take a look.
The Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries is looking to employ the use of drone technology in the agriculture sector to provide useful data to drive production and productivity. Collaborating with local company DNC Drones, Minister without Portfolio J.C. Hutchinson held a demonstration with farmers in Low River, Trelawney in August. It showed the farmers that the drones will be able to assess damage to their sector from natural disasters such as a flood and help them identify measures to boost crop yield.
What we are looking for the drone to do is that once we have crop damage after a hurricane or flood, we usually find that when the estimates come in, we find that the estimates are not usually correct, because many of the extension officers can't reach the areas where the damage is. With the drone, we are able to go over and identify all the crops, all the animals that have been lost, and bring back the picture within a day.
Director of DNC Drones Nigel Davies said this type of drone technology is called precision agriculture,
which basically is collecting data in real time, analyzing that data, and then interpreting data to advise the farmer as to the status of his crop, which is basically his nutrient contents in his crop, the moisture content in his field, and how much he has. Because this technology can also count the number of hills of yam, potato plants, tomato plants in the field. We can assess, let's say, the number of animals that died. We can measure that. We can tell you that, wait a minute, that these guys had 20 acres of yam here, and we knew that 6 months ago it was 50 hills of yams. We now can say he lost 50 hills of yams. So the drone technology is used widely in disaster management.
Other benefits of the drones include giving a clear picture of crops under production and identifying areas with irrigation needs and crops that are lacking in nutrients.
We have what we call a multispectral camera, which is this little camera on this particular drone, and it takes pictures of the plants. As you well know, plant leaves basically absorb sunlight and reflect sunlight. So this is a special camera that rejects infrared or near infrared, and then it can use that data using an algorithm to tell us how much nitrogen, how much potassium, how much phosphorus, or the lot thereof in a plant. We also can tell you the moisture content in the field.
Now, if that can be done, we will be able to tell the farmer what needs to be done with his different crops. And with that, we are looking at seeing how we can not only increase production, but we can increase productivity. So with the technology, we are looking to see if we can bolster agriculture.
The drone demonstration in Trelawney is the first of an island-wide campaign by the Agriculture Ministry to sensitize farmers about the benefits of the technology.
We feel that it can be able to counteract predial larceny in a certain way, and we are going to see how we can get it going so that we are able to counteract predial larceny for the farmers.
We can identify cows or any animals, as the case may be, that may be hidden anywhere. Let's say, for example, Master Storm. You know Master Storm only have 5 goats in his field, but all of a sudden, in the backyard, he might have another 10. We can survey that area and identify the number of cows or goats, as the case may be, using our thermal imaging camera. We can't solve the problem, but we can aid in recovery of animals or monitor a man's farm. Minister, we're going to work with you and try to streamline the technology to ensure that we can attain that goal.
I think the drone is going to make a big difference as far as us moving forward in agriculture. I want to see a revolutionization of agriculture in this country.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand.
The Office of the Children's Advocate is very aware that we have some parents who get particularly anxious at the start of a new school year. And so we really just wanted to share with you a few tips that you can utilize to help keep your children, especially the very young ones who are going out for the first time, nice and safe from sexual abuse. Parents need to recognize that the private parts, as we call them, or the genitalia, are regular parts of the body. And so in teaching your children about the forehead and the nose and the hand, you can also teach them the names of these body parts, because that does two things. It puts them in a position to speak about these parts when something is going wrong, and it also tells them that even though they are private parts, it's not too private to talk about, particularly with a parent. Children need to know that there should be no secrets between them and their parents or guardians. Oftentimes, when persons want to abuse children, they tend to encourage them to keep a little secret. You know, this is between me and you. But from very early, parents need to establish with their children that the lines of communication are open. Mommy and daddy, or auntie and uncle, or whoever is the responsible adult in that child's life, can actually have a discussion, age appropriate of course, about anything at all that may be troubling the child. The third tip is that parents need to cultivate throughout the child's lifespan that environment whereby the child feels comfortable to speak. Conversation should not be off limit, topics should not be taboo, and you really need to get to a stage whereby you have teachable moments, we call them. So we see a lot of things reported in the newspapers, sometimes on the nightly news, and we can use some of these instances of horrible things that are happening to other children to start little discussions with our own children to give them tips as to how they can avoid or prevent, perhaps completely, any such reality happening to them. For these tips, and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand. But if I dare...
Parents, make sure the children get immunized. Hear this! Immunization, it is a must. This is not a joke thing, this you can trust. It is required by law for entry to nursery, to daycare and to schools. Listen up, it is necessary to prevent diseases such as the measles, the poliomyelitis, the lockjaw and the whooping cough. Immunize your kids, keep them healthy, keep them strong. Prevent deadly diseases such as mumps, rubella and diphtheria. Immunize your child today. Immunization, a key to good health.
A message from the Ministry of Health and PAHO.
With the winter season comes the sniffles, and that means taking extra care of your health with a little vitamin C, which also has other benefits.
If you're like most kids, you've probably heard at least one parent say, "Don't forget to take your vitamins. Eat your fruits and salads. They're packed with vitamins." And you heed the advice. But do you know why? Do you know what exactly vitamins are?
Vitamins are substances that are found in foods we eat. Our body needs them to work properly. Each vitamin has a special role to play. For example, vitamin D in milk helps us develop strong bones and teeth. Vitamin A in carrots helps us to see at night. Vitamin C in oranges helps our bodies to heal from a cut. And B vitamins in leafy green vegetables help our bodies make protein and energy. There are two categories of vitamins, fat-soluble and water-soluble. Fat-soluble vitamins are the ones called A, D, E, and K.
When we eat foods that contain fat-soluble vitamins, the essential nutrients are stored in the fatty tissues of our bodies and our livers until our bodies need them.
The water-soluble vitamins are C and B complex.
These cannot be stored in our bodies and will dissolve in water before our bodies can absorb them. Any vitamin C or B that our bodies do not use pass through our systems, mostly when we urinate. So they need to be replaced regularly to ensure a fresh supply every day.
But let's break it down and take a look at one of these vitamins, C.
Vitamin C is often referred to as the cold-fighting vitamin. It is also known as a wonder worker because it plays an important role in building and maintaining our tissues. Doctors say it can enhance the function of the immune system and plays a role in the formation of important enzymes in the body. Vitamin C is important because it protects the body from skin diseases, respiratory infections, and cardiovascular problems.
According to nutritionists, human beings cannot produce their own supply of vitamin C, so we have to obtain it through our diet.
Vitamin C is found in citrus and other fruits such as oranges, limes, lemons, tangerines, grapefruit, papaya, strawberries, melons, and cantaloupes. It can also be found in vegetables like tomatoes, broccoli, green and red bell peppers, potatoes, peas, raw lettuce, and cabbage.
Vitamin C can be lost easily during cooking, particularly frying, so it's recommended that people steam their vegetables to minimize loss.
Vitamin C is also good for preserving the body from aches, pains, and heart disease. If we do not have enough vitamin C in our systems, it could lead to health complications. Diseases or ailments may include gum bleeding, skin discoloration, lack of energy, tooth decay, poor wound healing, easy bruising, loss of appetite, and pain in the joints. According to medical experts, there are certain groups of persons who can easily use up ascorbic acid, that is, vitamin C found in citrus and green vegetables, more rapidly than others. These are alcohol consumers, smokers, diabetics, individuals under stressful conditions or fever, and the elderly.
It is important to remember that vitamin C is also a highly effective antioxidant.
For additional information on vitamin C, consult your doctor or nutritionist. You can also get valuable tips from any government health institution close to you. So be health-wise.
That's how we bring the curtains down on our show for today. But if you want to see it again, log on to our website at gis.gov.jm. We always welcome your feedback, so keep sending your comments to Jamaica Magazine at gis.gov.jm or via a tweet at GIS News. Our team will be back with another show tomorrow, same time, same station. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Audrey Williams. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.